Alright guys, today we're going to talk about complex conjugates. Number one, we're going to have a test pretty soon, so we need to get ready for that. Our test, is coming up in a few more days. Okay, so here we go. What you need to know about these is something similar like we've already done before. So before, what we had was if I had a fraction that had a root in the denominator, we had to rationalize, and we had to get rid of the root. So we did this by multiplying the top and the bottom by whatever the root was. And then on the top, we have the square root of 2, because 1 times the square root of 2 is 2. And then on the bottom, we'd have the square root of 2 times the square root of 2, which is the same thing as the square root of 2 squared. And then the square root of 2 squared is 2. I can't reduce, so this would be my answer. Okay, well, we know that I is also a square root of -1. So basically right now on let's look at number 3. On number 3, we have this I in the bottom. So this is the same thing as saying -8 over 9 root -1. Well, we can't have a radical in the bottom, so we're going to rationalize. So we do that by multiplying both the top and the bottom, and we're just going to multiply by I. You could multiply by 9 if you wanted to, but then you'll have to reduce. This is just helping us to not have to reduce as much. And the reason that I picked I is because we have I's on all the problems. You don't have to change them over to a square root. I was just showing you. But the square root of -1 and I are the same thing. So anyways, let's multiply straight across. I'm going to move this negative to be up with my 8. It needs to go somewhere, so just give it to the top or the bottom, just one. So on the top, I have -8I, and on the bottom, I really have 9 times I times I, okay? Because I had my I from the beginning. And then this is the same thing as I squared. Well, we know that I is -1, and I squared is -1. Or, I mean, I is root -1. Okay, so I know that I times I is the same thing as I squared, just like what happened here, because it's the same exact number twice. And that is equal to -1. So on the top, I still have -8I, and on the bottom, I really have 9 times -1. Well, 9 times -1 is -9 on the bottom and -8I on the top. You must reduce, please. If you don't reduce, they're going to be wrong. I can reduce by the negatives. The 8 and 9 can't be reduced, so it's 8I over 9 is your answer. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's do number 7. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by I over I, which is the same thing as 1. On the top, we multiply straight across. That is 8I. And on the bottom, we have -10 times I is the same thing as -1. Okay, so now we have 8I over 10. And 8 and 10 can be reduced by 2. So I'm going to take a 2 out of the top, leaving 4I. And I'm going to take a 2 out of the bottom, leaving 5. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I'm reducing. And then I have 4I over 5 remaining. And your calculator does not love these problems, so you need to know how to do them. Let's look at number 13. On this problem, I have 2 items on the top and 1 item on the bottom, which is totally fine. Still, on the bottom, I have this I, and I cannot leave it there. So we're going to multiply by 1. So on the top, we need to distribute to both things inside of the parentheses. So we have 8I minus -1, because I times I is -1. And since this was a minus before, I need to have a minus out in front. And then on the bottom, I have 5 times -1. -1 times -1, basically, or a negative times a negative, makes a +1. And then on the bottom, I've got -5. I can't reduce, so there we are. Let's look at 15. On 15, I'm going to multiply by I over I. And again, if you want to take that 8, you can, but you'll have to reduce a lot more than maybe you normally would. So then we distribute our I. So we have negative 4I plus 6 times negative 1, because I times I. And then on the bottom, we have 8, and then I times I is negative 1. Okay, let's simplify. Oh, shoot. Number 13, we need to rewrite. I totally forgot. We need to put the real before the imaginary. So this one should really be 1 plus 8I over negative 5. Sorry, my bad. I just thought about that when I was doing this guy. Okay, so now I have negative 4I minus 6 all over negative 8. Okay, so I'm going to take out my greatest common factor of all the numbers if I can find one that's all the same. And I do. Negative 2 on the top will give me 2I plus 3. And then negative 2 on the bottom will give me 4. So my negative 2's cancel. And I'm left with, I'm going to rewrite this so that it's in the correct form. 3 plus 2I divided by 4. I can't reduce any further because I can't take the same number out of the 2 and the 3. Let's do one more just to make sure we're good to go. How about number 14? Sure. Okay, on number 14, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by I so that I can rationalize. Distribute your I. Negative 9I minus 10 times negative 1 all over 3 times negative 1. Okay, negative 9I, negative 10 times negative 1 is positive 10, so I'm going to rewrite 10 minus 9I, because my negative 9, all over negative 3. I can't reduce, and I have it in the correct form, so that I'm all done. Alright guys, let me know if you have any more questions. Have a great day. Bye.